Assalamu alaikum, brothers. Welcome into the final episode of Intentional Lounging. We are talking the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs are back to three-peat. I bet you cannot guess which team I will be rooting for this Sunday. Big games. Since it is only one game, we're gonna give you guys a quick breakdown of what we think is going to happen. Then we'll give you guys some big plus play odds at the end, as well as some Super Bowl props, so you guys get more than just the side and totals for this episode. So I'm going to send it to Ethan first. Ethan, who are you with? It's like a -1.5 line. Let's just throw the line out this week. Last game of the season. Let's just go money line. Who are you on?
Yeah, so clearly got the both sides going today. I'm that guy. Don't really care because I have futures on both. I'm going to lock up a profit regardless. So that's the way I like to use my free bets. It's the way I like to enjoy my Super Bowl Sunday. Wouldn't advise it. I don't think it's the smartest way to use free bets, but I enjoy it. I like having sweat free, knowing that I should make money on Super Bowl Sunday. That being said, right after the conference championship games, I did fire away pretty good sized play, like 3 units on the Chiefs. Really just at that time did not see the Chiefs losing. I've cashed that out, which is probably good for you, Ben. I'm off it. I'm just keeping the future here. Have cashed out that bet on the Chiefs. I'm just not as confident as I was. And I really don't know. I think it's a straight coin flip. I really don't know. I'm still going to lean the Chiefs. And really my main reason is I think it's going to be the offensive strength of Philly running the ball against the defensive strength of Kansas City stopping the run. And I'm going to give it to Kansas City. Plus you have Mahomes, you have Andy Reid. And I do think the playoffs have really been called fairly. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think the Chiefs have been helped by the refs in the postseason. I will say, though, and similar to the first down, non-first down for Buffalo, I do think if there's a real like 50-50 call, I do think the Chiefs are going to more than likely come out favored in that situation. I wouldn't bet the Chiefs simply because of that, but I do feel that way. So, I think, gun to my head, I'd pick the Chiefs, but I'm glad I don't have to bet the side. I do really like the under in this game. I think 48.5 is too many points. And kind of like I said, I think Philly's going to try to run the ball. I don't think they're going to have a ton of success running the ball. It's going to bleed clock. Kansas City isn't, doing 60-yard touchdowns every play. They're very methodical. They get to third down, get the first down, slowly move the chain. So I really, really like the under. I will be playing the under. Do we want to do player props now, or do you guys want to break down side and total before I throw one out?
So let's break down the game first, and then we can go on all that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm, to be honest, not super excited for this game. I know we're a couple days out, but I'll get there eventually, and I'll start probably unloading on bets when we get a little closer to kickoff. But yeah, I mean, either side is just not screaming to me. It seems stupid to bet against Patty Mahomes, not only in the Super Bowl but in the playoffs. I mean, I have a lot of stats written down here. He's 16-2 straight up in January and February. At home, we're a neutral site, which is basically every single playoff game for Kansas City and then the Super Bowl. He is 8-0 straight up and against the spread as a dog or less than a 3-point favorite, which is what it is today or this weekend. On extended rest, he is 30-4 straight up. That is 8+ days. He's 2 weeks off here. Everything's pointing towards Mahomes. He is 8-0 straight up against the Eagles DC, Vic Fangio, whatever his name is. 2-6, however, against the spread. So I'm not going to get in the way of Kansas City. I just don't feel like I'm going to bet it as of right now. But like I said, if you're a betting person, it seems pretty stupid to bet against Patty Mahomes here. So you'd have to look yourself in the mirror. And if you really want to get there, I do think it's going to be a close game. If you really want to be on the opposite side of Patty Mahomes in a 2-minute drill to win the game, then good luck. It's probably what it's going to come down to. I would bet on Patty Mahomes every single time in that situation, down by 3, down by 4, whatever he might be with 2 minutes left with the ball. I don't want to be sweating that out. So right now, that's what's keeping me off it because I don't really want to root for Kansas City. No offense, Ben. I just don't want to root for it. But I also don't want to lose money betting on my heart. So yeah, if I were to bet this game, I would say take the Chiefs. I don't think I'm going to get there on an actual bet. I agree with Ethan. Love the under in this game.
I'll take my last shot since we're talking about betting. you would say you would take Patrick Mahomes with the 2-minute warning with the ball in his hands. You know, you shouldn't bet on Josh Allen with 3 minutes and 33 seconds. Oops. Okay, last one. Okay, back to this game now. Surprisingly, and now some of these stats could be a little skewed because I know Hurts was injured for a little bit of the season. Butker was injured for a little bit of the season. So I'm going to get those two stats out of the way. But Philly actually the second worst pass yards per game this year, which that shocked me. The only team worse was the New England Patriots. Teams above them, Chicago Bears and Carolina Panthers. Like, that's not great competition right there. Converted kicks, Eagles only converted 79% of their kicks, and that is with their kicker being healthy for the whole year. Even with the injured Butker on IR, Kansas City not completed, sorry, but they converted on 88% of their field goals. And we've seen them hit these 50-plus yard field goals in the Super Bowl time and time again. Also a thing, I just think this ref thing's so funny. I saw today that the Patrick Mahomes is more likely to make a Super Bowl than he is to complete a pass. So he's like made it 74% of the years of his career, and then he's completes like 66%. So that did crack me up. This is the same defense that they had when they faced the Eagles the first time. This was McDuffie's rookie year. This was Karlaftis's rookie year. So all these guys, they have not lost a single playoff game. Now they get to come back. They're better. I know this Eagles team's better too. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is better though. Second worst sack percentage goes to Philadelphia also. So I know they had that really good run blocking offensive line, but they allowed 9.77% of sacks behind only Chicago, which that really surprised me also. And the Chiefs, they've been really getting after people. Jalen Hurts, when pressured, out of 37 quarterbacks, he's number 37 out of 37 in success rate, 37 out of 37 in EPA per attempt, 33 of 37 in sack rate, 32 of 37 in yards per attempt against pressure. Spags, number 6 in defensive pressure rates between quarters 2 and 4, making up for those adjustments. So I think if he can get that pressure really dialed up, it might be a long day for the Eagles. I do think this is going to be a really close one. I do think probably Saquon probably goes over 100 yards. I don't think they've had somebody rush for over 100 yards. It's been quite a few years since they had a running back rush for over 100. But also, I did find one stat that is going to help the Eagles, though. Last time they played, the Eagles, remember, had to play on a slippery field. They say it's not going to be a slippery field this year. So I did pack a bag if anybody needs anything. I brought some toilet paper. I didn't know if it's going to be for tears or for wipe. It's all shit to me. So I don't know what end you're going to be wiping, but I did bring supplies for the Super Bowl party if anybody wants to come over, okay?
I'll be there.
Also, mail one of those to Nick, will you?
Yes, right. Thank you for saying that also, because we saw it with the Texans game, that really poorly called fourth down, which I know we want to blame the refs for everything, but that was a horrible fourth down call. And then they rushed to the line, didn't get the snap off, ended up in a change into downs. If Nick Sirianni makes a mistake in this game, that could be it, because we're saying this is going to be a really close game. A mistake like that could be the deciding factor of who wins or who loses. I trust Andy Reid not to be the coach making the mistake and to get out-coached by Nick Sirianni here. Yeah, that's my take. Guys, what about any player props and stuff you have? I know I got a couple really big ones, but the likelihood of these hitting are not that high. So do you guys want to go first with more realistic ones?
Well, you kind of touched on it, but I actually don't think Saquon gets 100 yards. So really? I'd love Saquon under. It's at a 111.5 over at DraftKings. God, I think it was 116.5 earlier. Got to believe the public's going to bet that up, though. But, yeah, I don't think Saquon goes over 100. And really, I mean, that's just so many yards. I bet against him against Washington. I think it was 126.5. 60 yards on his first carry. Still went under that total. It was a sweat. I mean, I hated it. I had to get up and go get food right after that run because I was like, well, there goes that. But it cashed, and, I trust Kansas City's defense. I think they're going to really hone in on Saquon. And if the Eagles want to win, I think it's going to have to be on the shoulders of Jalen Hurts. and I guess that would also then put me on Jalen Hurts MVP. If you do think the Eagles are going to win, I think Saquon is a very popular choice, but like I said, I do think he gets shut down. So I think if you think the Eagles are going to win, I would go with Jalen Hurts to win the MVP. Thinking he probably gets at least one rushing touchdown, if not two, maybe a passing in there. And then if Saquon, has 60 yards and a touchdown, they're not going to give it to him. So those would be two of my thoughts on player props.
Yeah. And can I add real quick too, just about the playoff run? The Eagles, all the teams kept shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, it was 3 turnovers against Washington. They hadn't really played tough competition in the playoffs, and then they're in a division that had, besides the Commanders, Cowboys were terrible, Giants were terrible this year. I mean, the Chiefs had a much harder schedule and then had to face Buffalo to go to the Super Bowl. I think they've much more tested than this Philadelphia team is going in. Sorry, Wyatt, to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. I was just checking to see if my door was closed. Yeah, I got a couple player props that I haven't locked in yet, but I am looking at. First of all, I couldn't find it just scrolling right now on DraftKings. I know it's available somewhere. There's so many tabs on all these sports books with the Super Bowl, so it's on there somewhere. But the longest field goal, I like the under. The Eagles field goal kicker sucks. And then Butker kind of has that knee thing. He's still going down on a knee every single kick, so his distance isn't great. He's still capable of doing it. I just don't think he's capable of really banging a really deep one. So I think the last I saw was like 49.5 for the longest field goal. Eagles kicker can't do that. He's might be the worst kicker in the league. And then Butker, I just don't trust going that deep with that knee issue. So I do like that. In regards to touchdown scores, I did take Saquon. I thought the odds were going to go up. I took it early at -190. It's still pretty much at -190. So I thought I was super smart there. Turns out I'm just an idiot as always. In regards to first touchdown, because I know that's a really fun bet. The odds are also really high. Since in Super Bowl era, I believe this is from Super Bowl I to now, 25% of the first touchdown scores have been wide receivers. 29% have been running backs. 5% D special teams, tight end, quarterbacks. So I do like a wide receiver to score first, and this is where you're going to get your best odds. And I'm going to go actually to the Chiefs. The Chiefs usually start off slow, but the Eagles, I think, are one of the worst point differential teams in the first quarter in the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs to score first. And I'm just going to go to the guy that's the wide receiver on the Chiefs that I think is getting all the action, running or throwing or receiving. That's Xavier Worthy. I think he's going to score first. I think his odds are really good for that. It does fit that 43% chance for a wide receiver to score first. 25 times, 43% Super Bowl era. So I do like that as a touchdown score. Besides that, I'll have a couple other props out there where I think we might get into some novelty props. I'm currently doing I flipped 500 quarters before this, and heads is currently up 279 to 221. Or sorry, tails is up. Tails is murdering heads.
Ooh.
Still have 500 more flips to go. And I'm starting the one with the heads on top, and then now I'm going to flip it to the tails on top when I start the flip. But yeah, it's looking like tails is probably going to be the coin toss. But I'll have a couple more props. But yeah, probably more touchdown scores. I do like Saquon's under, and I don't love Saquon MVP either. So I'm with Ethan. If you do think the Eagles are going to win, I would say pick Hurts. A running back has not won the MVP since 1998. That was Davis. No idea what his first name is. Also, a running back hasn't had over 120 rushing yards since 2003, which was Pittman. So I don't love running back props. I know Saquon's a beast, but he's going to be that prop's already bet to way out of proportion. So yeah, Saquon's great. It's just not in the odds for that to hit. But yeah, I think it's going to be a Chiefs. I can't really argue with either tight ends. I like both tight ends quite a bit. I know Kelsey's super public, but Goddard has been used quite a bit in both playoff games so far. So I like Goddard receptions and yards. I have a lot I'll get into on Twitter, or I'll have an article out as well. But yeah, my favorite bet would probably be the under on the total field, or on the longest field goal. And then besides that would probably be Xavier Worthy first touchdown.
I like that. I really need to know how that coin flip series ends. So please, let us know as soon as possible.
My head's right. You see this? It's a little bruise from me slapping the coin on my hand. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little.
Oh, it's showing.
I'm sweating. Yeah, it's
He's taking
intense.
all the anger from this season on this coin.
Yeah, I know whatever I pick is going to be a loser. This way, I have like 2 hours of data that I could at least support my bet.
I'm somehow good at the coin toss. I don't know if I might have lost 1 year.
Well, what are you
Somehow
leading this year?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's going to be a feel
Yes.
right before. Did you have any player props, Ben?
Yes, I will just run through them real quick because these are
Okay.
going to be more like Hail Mary throws. George Karlaftis over a half touchdown plus 8,000.
Like it.
So if he gets
strip
that
sack.
strip sack, exactly. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And it's not, everybody's going to be betting Chris Jones for that. If they're taking a defensive player touchdown, Karlaftis has kind of been that guy. Ethan, I think you and me were talking about him.
Yeah.
Like a week or two
He'd
back.
look better in blue, but yeah.
So I'm going to take Karlaftis. I put $1 on it to win 80, plus 8,000. Justin Reed over half defensive interception at plus 1,200. Now, he was the one that almost picked off Josh Allen's first 2 throws. He's kind of always in the right spot. Also, one of those guys that has good hands, and if anybody's going to make the play in the secondary, McDuffie's more like a lockdown corner than he is a guy that's going to get a pick. I like Justin Reed. If you're going to, once again, take an interception off of Hurts, Reed's my pick at plus 1,200. And then we've kind of forgot about him as the season went along, but if you guys play fantasy football, you probably remember hearing about Noah Gray back in the middle of the season. He was really taking over for Kelsey. I kind of like, we're seeing a lot in the Super Bowls and the playoffs that it's guys like Mecole Hardman getting the game-winning touchdown. And so it's not always your Kelsey and your Tyreek Hill, big-name guys that are getting these scores. So I'll take Noah Gray over a touchdown, half a touchdown reception at plus 510. Those are my 3 big, over plus 500 plays for the Super Bowl.
I got a couple real quick, sorry, that I forgot to add on. I loved Noah Gray. I looked at him. He just doesn't get targeted in the playoffs. No. I don't know what it is, but I love the idea. I literally was like, I had him on my bet slip, and then I was like, let me check the last couple Super Bowls, last playoff games. I don't know if he's had over a catch or over 1.5 catch, but yeah, I would love it. Quickly back to that Mahomes and Fangio, the Eagles DC. Mahomes is 8-0 against them, but 2-6 against the spread. He does seem to struggle a little bit against Fangio defenses. Again, he was at Miami and then at Denver. So he's played them, quite a bit in Denver. Oh, yeah. 2 of Mahomes' lowest 10 passing yard games came in against Fangio defenses. Yards after catch, first and the 4th lowest in his career occurred in these games. 21 games he's had, or 20. Jesus, what is this stat? 21 games, he has more than 23% off target passes. 3 of those were against Fangio. 2 of his top 10 worst EPA games are against Fangio. 6 out of 8 games against Fangio, he's pressured more than 20%. So yes, he's winning, but the games are staying close. He's not covering all the time. And I just think he gets pressured a little bit too much by Fangio. So I kind of like Mahomes under passing yards would be my go-to in that game. Mahomes is going to figure it out. Andy Reid is going to figure it out this week, but I just don't think it's going to be a huge passing fest that we might see, or that we saw 2 Super Bowls ago when we had this rematch, or when we had this matchup. So possibly Mahomes under passing yards. I don't know how much I love that, because it is Mahomes. It is the Super Bowl. It is a chance for history, the three-peat. But just historically, he struggled a little bit in the passing game against Fangio defenses.
What's his line at again?
I have no idea. I'm going to guess it's like just under 250. I'll look it up real quick.
I was going to guess like 270.
I'll look it up.
Ethan, go ahead.
So I like going way back to the Worthy first touchdown. I do like Worthy anytime touchdown. If you look back at the Chiefs Super Bowls, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore both got little gadget play touchdowns. I believe it was the same play, wasn't it, Ben?
Yeah.
Back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yeah, from Peterson, man.
Let's make it 3. Let's make it 3 with Xavier Worthy. So yeah, I think Worthy is a really good, solid touchdown scorer, red zone option. Also, just touching on the unit, Ben, you mentioned 1 to win 80 on Karlaftis. I think that is like the way to bet the Super Bowl, is just pepper the board with very small plays. You don't want to end your night down like, $500 or whatever.
I'll try.
Yeah, been there for sure. And yeah, it sucks. So, smart gambling, that's what I would preach. But also one that's catching my eye. Did you see on FanDuel, you can bet fastest ball carrier speed. It's like a next-gen stats thing. Travis Kelce under 15.5 is the one that's sticking out to me because you don't really see Kelce at this stage in his career catching and running too much. It's a lot of over the middle. It's a lot of curl routes. He really doesn't get into the open field that often. So I don't know. I don't know if he's really going to have the opportunity to get up over 15.5 miles an hour. A couple others I like. Hollywood Brown under 17.5. You have to touch the ball to be a ball carrier.
Right.
I don't know if Marquise is catching the ball. He might have one. And yeah, he's fast when he's in the open, but has this guy caught a pass all year? I mean, he hasn't played all year, hardly. So Marquise Brown under, I think, is worth a look. Mahomes under 17.5. Again, that means he has to run. How many times is Mahomes going to run? I know if he goes on like a 13, 14-yard run, he will go over that because he is pretty fast. But he's going to have to go on a 13, 14-yard run. So kind of like Mahomes. I don't know. It's an interesting way to bet. If you bet all the unders, you're probably going to make money. But yeah, just kind of interesting. But I do like Kelce, I think, the most out of those.
Mahomes passing yards is 251.5.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I still like that under. Don't know if I'm going to get there, but.
Gotcha. Any other player props from you guys? I got Kareem Hunt over a half touchdown, a plus 138.
I like that.
Because, like, he was just so, like, I remember an interview where I kind of felt bad for him. He's, like, talking about how he went through this, like, big stage of depression where the Chiefs got rid of him. And he's like, even though I went to, like, Cleveland, like, it just wasn't the same. I was watching them win Super Bowls, and I just felt like I just missed out.
No shit, it wasn't the same. You went from Kansas City to Cleveland.
Right. And they're winning Super Bowls, and you're just losing massage parlors. By the way, shout out to Justin Tucker finding his new home in Cleveland. Traded 3 first-round picks for him. Division rival. I was a little surprised Baltimore did it, but they got a good trade comp.
Sean Watson is thankful that he's no longer in the limelight when it comes to that.
Yeah, he's got company now. Guys, anything else before we get out of here?
I do have a couple novelty props or off the wall props or whatever they're called, exotic props. You'll see. These are harder to find, especially if you live in a stupid state like Virginia, where you can't bet on what they think is weird stuff. So you can't bet coin flip. You can't bet all that stuff. So I have to go to my bookie or Bovada. But I will be betting the coin toss, like I said. I like the national anthem to go under on the national anthem. Everyone goes over. He's up. Piano New Orleans jazz guy, so everyone's gonna think that's the over. So I like the under on that. Obviously the player to cry, we were talking about that one. I think that's a little too juicy right now, but I do think someone's gonna cry during the anthem.
What are the odds on that?
Yeah,
I've seen all over the place. I saw on Bovada it's minus 500.
Oh,
I saw on my
enough.
bookie it's like minus 290.
oh my god!
It's not as good of odds as I want. But
wow,
it's a
I
fun
was thinking
bet.
we would be able to get like minus 170.
Yeah. A couple other ones that I do like, and I did hit in the first matchup of Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. Punter or a kicker to get a tackle. The octopus is always in play with the Eagles with Hurts running it in and then Hurts getting the 2-point conversion or Saquon. I think, like I said, it could be a back and forth game where we might see a 2-point conversion. So the octopus, again, that means you score the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, 8 points. It's always a really good, fun bet. That's probably like plus 1,000. I think that's it. Oh, jersey number of first touchdown scorer. I like the under 15.5. I have no idea why it's 15.5, probably because Mahomes, but every other guy is under that besides obviously Saquon and Kareem Hunt and Kelce. So you got to worry about those three. But the next one in odds are Hurts, Worthy, AJ Brown, Mahomes, Devonta Smith, Pacheco are all higher than the next guy, which would be Goddard, who's above 16 jersey number. So I like the first touchdown to be under 15.5 because I do think it's going to be either a Worthy, Hurts, even Mahomes, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Pacheco even. So I like that one as well. But a lot of props out there. I'll get a list out on Twitter of all the crap I'm gonna be losing money on.
I just saw the octopus hit. I just saw it hit, and it's gonna kill me because I have the Hunt touchdown and the Noah Gray touchdown. It's gonna be a Pacheco touchdown, and then Gray's gonna get the 2-point conversion. So it's not gonna count. Neither of them hit.
Dude, okay, so that is why I've held off Kareem Hunt, because I know the second I bet him to score, Pacheco's back. So I have held off that. I just quick, I need to still look into the novelty props. I will be just peppering the board, $5 here, $5 there. But I just want to ask you guys off the top of your head, Wyatt, I know you said you're leaning tails at this point with still 500 flips to go. Ben, just off the top of your head, heads or tails?
Tails. It's always tails.
Okay, I'm leaning tails too. So we're at 3 on tails, but that might change. I will go with what I'm feeling right before the flip. And then gotta ask, Gatorade color.
I'm glad you did.
Wyatt, I'll throw it to you first. Any lean on the Gatorade color?
I'm gonna go blue.
I like it.
I'm gonna go blue. Red's too easy. Purple was last year. Give me blue. It can't be green.
I was kind of thinking blue, but something like I feel an orange too.
I'm feeling orange. But those are the two I'm leaning. But yeah, I thought I saw the last 2 years were both purple, and I thought I was a genius. I'm like, I'm hammering purple. Kansas City wins. I mean, they're not going to go against it. You know, it's the three-peat.
Right.
And now it's like plus 160 or something for purple Gatorade. So I feel orange, especially if Philly wins. I can just see like the orange on the green. I can just see it. So
I do have some more stats on the coin toss because I really dove into this one. In the 58 Super Bowls, tails has hit 30 times, heads has hit 28. In Kansas City's 4 Super Bowls, they have won the coin toss 3 times. They've been the away team twice. They're back to being the away team on Sunday, which means they'll call it. Kelsey called it in Super Bowl 55. He called heads. It was a COVID year. It was heads. In Super Bowl 57 against the Eagles, he called or the punter, the long hair punter. I forget his name.
Tommy Townsend.
Yeah, he called the coin toss. He called tails. It was tails. I don't know who's going to call it for the Chiefs. Mahomes has yet to call one. I don't know if it's going to be Kelsey. I don't know if it's going to be Bucker. I don't know who's going to call it, but yeah, who knows? But it's heads, tails. Are they going to go back to heads? They won against Philly when they called tails, and it was tails. Just keep this in mind. Keep all this stuff in mind. Philly is also in their 3 Super Bowls. That is Super Bowl 39, 52, and 57. They are 1 for 3 on coin tosses. Chiefs are 3 for 4. So Chiefs calling. Chiefs are going to win it. I already know it. I've already seen it. I've seen the script. I just don't know who's going to call. If it's Kelsey, he's going to go immediately back to heads. I just don't know if they're going to give Kelsey if he's going to be the guy that's going to call it.
All I know is whoever is going to call it has not prepped as much as you have for the coin toss. Ben, but there is one way that the Chiefs could become my second team, and it could happen on Sunday.
Okay.
One way.
What's that?
Patrick Mahomes recreates Len Dawson's Super Bowl photo of him smoking the cig at halftime with the bottle of beer under his chair. That would do it for me. That's maybe my favorite NFL photo of all time.
That is a cold photo, dude.
I absolutely love
awesome photo.
It is fantastic.
Wyatt, to close us out, will you do us the honor of a coin flip to close the show?
Yes. Where is I'm using a silver dollar. So it's a big coin. Yes. I'm going to start on tails.
Hold on. Comment below. Is it heads or tails?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
We're starting on tails.
Heads.
Tails.
It is tails.
Oof.
It's going to be tails.
0-1.
You can't see that. Tails. Liberty Bell. Oh, that's Philly.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
What's the other side? Sacagawea? That might be Chiefs.
The other side. The other side is, I think it's Eisenhower.
Ike. There's a K in there. Kansas City.
Yeah. And it says, in Nancy Pelosi we trust. So I don't know what that's about.
Oh my God.
Cut the show.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in this season and joining us, guys. We'll be back. We'll be back next year for the Chiefs versus Lions Super Bowl.
I saw it was predicted.
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
who, but someone predicted.
Thank you guys for watching. It's been a great season, and we'll see you guys. See you guys later on. Peace, guys.
Later, guys.
See you guys.
Flexing on the haters, can't touch my score. Money like Jerry Rice, touchdowns galore. Week after week, always asking for more. Bling on the wrist, got the books on the floor. Listen in, cash out, pages swelling. Plays on the field, see me winning, never dwelling. Flag on Vegas, they know what I'm selling. NFL bets keep the cheesy compelling. Flexing on the haters, can't touch my score. Money like